Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
It is official. Tyron Woodley vs. Darren Till will headline UFC 228, and Colby Covington will be stripped of his interim title. Holy fuck. This came out of left field, completely unexpected. Colby Covington just won his title 2 months ago. We were all getting ready for Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. The trash talk was already heating up. These guys already wanted to fight each other to the point to where it was personal. Tyron Woodley low-key said he wanted to catch a body in the octagon, talking about he had DMs from Colby Covington's sister. This shit was about to heat up. I was already had my popcorn popping. Now, Colby Covington seems to have sustained an injury. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if Colby got injured in his last fight versus Rafael Dos Anjos, or if he got injured when he was juggling dicks. I literally don't know, but he was injured, and now the UFC needs a title fight, and it looks like Colby Covington's not going to be ready to return until the end of the year. Now, with that being said, is Colby Covington ducking his motherfucking taco after talking all that shit? Now you're injured. Wow, Colby. How mighty motherfucking convenient. Colby was talking about how he used to beat Woodley in training, and Woodley and even Dean Thomas was like, I don't remember that. But Woodley was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I used to break you in the training room. And now Colby Covington is injured. Interesting, because there's only a few people that know what actually happened in that training room. But if Colby Covington was talking all this shit and low-key knew he was going to get his ass handed to him if he ever had to go against the motherfucking big dog Tyron Woodley, maybe he knew that that was going to happen. You know, maybe he wasn't very confident in himself versus Tyron Woodley. And so now, oh, you guys need me to fight Woodley now? Oh, I'm injured. Sorry, I'm injured. You know, so it's unfortunate Colby Covington was injured, but we didn't hear about it coming immediately out after his fight. Now that the UFC needs to book a title fight, Colby Covington is conveniently injured. So that might actually be a situation where he's ducking his motherfucking taco, honestly. But either way, Colby Covington seems like he'll be back toward the end of the year, but who knows if he's even going to get an immediate title fight since he's likely going to be stripped. Hopefully, Colby Covington has to face Kamaru Usman, who's been wanting a piece of him for a while now. Now, with that being said, Kamaru Usman is healthy. Maybe he'll get a fight booked sometime soon. He just came out and called Darren Till out after everybody thought that Woodley was turning the fight down and said, hey, Darren Till, you're healthy, I'm healthy, let's fight. So Kamaru Usman's a guy that's also looking for a fight, and if he can't get it at UFC 228, maybe he'll be ready when Colby Covington comes back. But there's a lot of conversations to be had here, man. We could talk about how interim titles don't mean shit for a second. I mean, we just saw Tony Ferguson was stripped at the same time as Conor McGregor after winning that interim title fight versus Kevin Lee. Tony Ferguson did. He beat the number 7th ranked guy, but he got stripped whenever Khabib beat the number 10th ranked guy. So now Tony Ferguson kind of got shit on in that situation, but he tripped over that cord and was injured. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometime. Now we've got Colby Covington, who won his interim belt like 2 months ago. He's already getting stripped. So it's like, if you're going to fight for an interim title, you literally have to be healthy coming out of the fight, just in case the UFC needs to book a title fight, you know, or else you're getting stripped. So it's kind of like Colby Covington fought Rafael Dos Anjos just to fight him. Now, hopefully these fighters are getting compensated in these interim title fights, which I believe is the case. You know, I don't know how much extra they get paid, but hopefully they at least get paid like a damn title fight if the belt doesn't mean anything. But with that being said, that interim title is out of here. It is officially off of Colby Covington's shoulder. And now it looks like Tyron Woodley's going to be defending his strap against Darren Till. And I'm a big fan of Darren Till, so I'm actually happy he's getting this opportunity, even though it didn't look like that was going to be the case after his fight with Wonderboy. A lot of people felt like Wonderboy won the fight. On top of that, Darren Till missed weight. Now, he did have some personal issues going in, I believe, but it is what it is. He missed weight. And so when you miss weight, a lot of the times, you know, you're not guaranteed a title fight. But the UFC, I heard Dana White speak about it as well, Darren Till's situation. They were aware of what caused him to miss weight, the family emergency. I believe his girl might have been in the hospital, or so it was something serious like that, you know, that you literally don't have time to worry about cutting weight when your family is like in the hospital, whether it's your baby's mother or your whoever. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure shit is good at the home front before you worry about cutting these pounds. And so it is what it is. He missed weight that time, but he made weight in this fight before that. But still, Darren Till is a big guy, man. I do believe he has a tough weight cut, because even though he had those personal issues, it wasn't his first time having trouble making the weight. He's a really big guy. Darren Till brags about being a light heavyweight, you know, fighting at welterweight. So, I mean, I don't want to call him a weight bully, but whenever you're a guy walking around talking about you're a light heavyweight, but you're fighting a welterweight, you kind of make yourself sound like that. So, but on top of that, after his performance versus Wonderboy, where he missed weight and some people felt like Wonderboy won, he himself said, yeah, I don't deserve a title shot. Fuck it. Give it to Wonderboy. He can have this shot. You know, I got to beat all these welterweights anyway, so I'll fight another welterweight before I get my title shot. So Darren Till is a guy, he didn't come into this fight entitled like, oh, I deserve this. I beat Wonderboy. You're like, fuck, I don't deserve it. But now the UFC needs a title fight. And you have two options for this fight, Kamaru Usman and Darren Till. Kamaru Usman probably not going to be as big of a pay-per-view draw unless Africa's buying pay-per-views that I don't know about. They might start soon. Shit, we just had Homie coming up off of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Super Sadiq. We got Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya. So I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC actually starts to, you know, go to Africa for a fight card if they haven't yet. But to my knowledge, I don't know if they've ever been to Africa. But shoot, we might have a UFC Wakanda before we know it. But either way, Kamaru Usman is a guy, he just came off of a win over Damian Maia, and he didn't miss weight in that fight, and he actually beat Damian Maia in a more impressive fashion than you might say Colby Covington or even Tyron Woodley did. He did more damage in the fight. So Kamaru Usman's also a guy that could have potentially got this title shot, like let's say if Darren Till wasn't ready. But Darren Till was ready. He accepted the fight. Sometimes you got to do that. Take the fight on somewhat short notice, unexpected. But that's going both ways here. It's not like Woodley was in the damn fight camp either yet. Woodley woke up to this news at like 2 in the morning. Like, what are you talking about? Accept the fight. I haven't got offered no fight yet. Turns to find out Darren Till actually knew what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't think Darren Till would start tweeting at Tyron Woodley to accept the fight out of nowhere. Like, accept the fight. Accept the fight. It's like, what? What fight? There's literally not a fight. So, with that being said, man, gonna be a great fight at UFC 228. I got so much shit to do, honestly. I'm probably going to cut the video off here. There's so much we could talk about. Tyron Woodley. How about the UFC needing a title fight? Amanda Nunes didn't want to accept the fight with Chris Cyborg at UFC 228. That would have been the biggest night for WMMA history, dog. You would have had Valentina Shevchenko, Cyborg, and Nunes all on the same card. But Nunes, not ready to fight till the end of the year, and she's cleared to fight. So it seems like the UFC still needed a title fight. And the only other option aside from Woodley and Till was maybe a light heavyweight interim title fight. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Cormier is off at heavyweight. We don't know if he's defending his belt. So maybe Gustafson would have got the call to fight here versus like an Anthony Smith. This card is in Dallas. Anthony Smith is from Dallas. So that's a title fight that I thought could have made somewhat sense. And now, makes sense? Not necessarily. Gustafson versus Anthony Smith for a title, interim title, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do when you're looking for a headliner of a pay-per-view card. And so that's a fight that would have definitely got some traction. Anthony Smith coming off of 2 big knockouts over former legends, Shogun and Rashad Evans, fighting in front of his home crowd for the title. That would have been like a zero to hero story if I ever saw one. Not a lot of people really knew much about Anthony Smith before those performances. You know, he did have a nice streak before losing to Thiago Santos, where he knocked 4 guys out in a row. But after that loss to Thiago Santos, I don't think many people would have expected him to move up to light heavyweight and be fighting for a title potentially in his 3rd fight up. Now, that's why you see guys interested in moving up to light heavyweight. It's not the most stacked division. And then at the top of the division, there are some of the legends of the sport that are kind of going out. You know what I'm saying? You got the Shoguns, the Glover Teixeiras, even the Alexander Gustafsons of the world. A lot of these guys are either outside of their prime or they're right up there. You know, I don't know how old Gustafson is, but I don't think he's, you know, he's definitely no spring chicken. I'm not going to just guess his age because I really don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, you hear what I'm saying. You got Glover, Shogun, Rashad was up there, I believe. So there's a lot of fights up there for some of these guys at middleweight moving up. You hear about Yoel Romero talking about moving up to 205. You hear about Luke Rocco talking about moving up to 205. And it's probably because they see that path to the title. And it looks like Anthony Smith was on that path. But Gustafson didn't agree to fight him at 227 because he was injured. Gustafson was. So I was like, well, hey, you got the #1 contender Gustafson. You got this motherfucking dude, Lionheart Anthony Smith, who is down to fight Gustafson. He's from Texas. Maybe we see that fight. you know, with the UFC kind of desperate to get a title fight, which seems like why they're stripping Colby and putting this fight together, because they needed another title fight for this card. So with that being said, we got one, and this one honestly in my mind is better than Anthony Smith versus Gustafson. That would have just been like a throw together thing. This is the legit champion Tyron Woodley coming back to fight Darren Till. And so with that being said, Darren Till is a guy, man, he's very dangerous. I'm super high on Darren Till. His last fight versus Wonderboy was just a little concerning for me as a fan, because I was like, nah, man, you know, he didn't really get in there and do what I wanted him to do. And you can't expect that all the time, but still, he might not have even won that fight. It was a close fight. He had his moments, but Darren Till definitely didn't dominate in that fight. And then on top of that, he missed weight. So a little bit of the air got let out of my cells. You know, I was like super on the Darren Till train. Oh my God, this is the next. He's fucking beating everybody at welterweight and then moving up a division. What the fuck you talking about? That's who we're talking about. Like, I'm a huge Darren Till fan, and I think he's got the skills to even win this fight. It's a possibility, but I don't know if I can pick it to happen now. I mean, the way this fight's come into place, and then on top of Darren Till's last performance, it is what it is. You know, Tyron Woodley is a very dangerous cat, but at the same time, you wonder, who's going to have the better cardio in this fight? Tyron Woodley, he's fought 5-round fights, but a lot of the times he conserves his energy. And you know what I'm saying? In that first and second round, and that's a smart thing to do. Conserve your energy, kind of like Conor McGregor had to do when he fought Nate Diaz that second time. If you're not 100% confident in your gas tank to make it to a 5-round fight, then hey, you know, you got to pick your spots. You don't go all out in the first round and wear yourself out. So, but with that being said, is that going to work against Darren Till? Is Darren Till going to put the pressure on him and make him use some of that energy? Shoot for some takedowns, work for some of those takedowns, and kind of get some of that gas out of Woodley before the end of the fight, to where maybe he could take over later in the fight. I mean, it's a great fight. There's no way Woodley just runs over Till, and there's no way Till just runs over Woodley. You know, someone can get caught, but these are two great fighters, man. Two of the best welterweights in the world. And on top of that, Darren Till is a very big dude fighting at welterweight. So, great fight. I'm a big fan of Darren Till. I'm a fan of Tyron Woodley as well. So, I'm glad this fight got put together, but it was a little unexpected. With that being said, I got to motherfucking work tomorrow all day. Right after I get off of work, I'm going to be going live, so there's not going to be as many just videos like this coming out, but I had to get this one out. This is crazy. But there's a lot of other shit going on, man. So actually, right after this video, probably gonna go live and we're gonna talk about some of this shit going on. But my girl's got to get off work and I gotta wake up for work, so it is what it is. Full-time family, got a lot of shit to do. Motherfucking lot of news coming out before UFC 227, which I believe is next weekend after UFC Calgary. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. But before we get out of here, full-time family, there are only 2 days left to double your money. If you want to double your money, my guy Yankin' My Dandy Doodle said he will match all donations made to the full-time startup fund in the next week plus $100. Get off your asses, full-time family. Let's do this. Up to 1,000. Now, I don't even think we're going to get half of 1,000, but that shit would be crazy. A huge opportunity for the channel. Not only would we be able to move to the new studio, but we would be able to get the rest of the equipment we need to really turn this thing into a fucking legit MMA channel. And I know it already is, because I work so motherfucking hard every single day, and so we put out quality and quantity content. I know we're legit, but I'm just saying we got a lot more potential and there's a lot more room to grow. We started from the gutter, now we're up to the basement, but we're getting all the way to the top. We got a long way to go. We'll probably be here 6 years from now, looking back at these times like, holy smokes, look where we started from, family. Probably have my guy Forward Thinking on the co-host spot, or someone else, you know, or multiple people on the panel. Dan from Oregon, shout out to the people that have joined. Who knows, we might even have the motherfucking India division with our over there running shit, full-time India. You know, we got big plans and a bright future, full-time family. So all I'm saying is fuck with your boy. I'm gonna be here today, tomorrow, the next day, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, motherfucking New Year's Eve, Veterans Day, my birthday, your birthday. We gonna be pumping out the content. So all I'm saying is fuck with your boy. 2 days left. We're grinding. I'm gonna be at work tomorrow, and when I'm at work, I want to see motherfucking this $34 we got at least at 50. So we need 16 motherfuckers to donate $1. All right, full-time family, I'm just kidding. Whatever would help, and you can also double that money, because Yank My Dandy Doodle will match that offer. Now, we also had Now and Later say he'll match that. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I do believe Yank My Dandy Doodle, because he's a guy that has helped the channel before, longtime supporter and, you know, full-time family member. So Thanks to Yank My Dandy Doodle for this opportunity. There's 2 days left. The trolls can't stop us. Nobody can stop us. On and upward, full-time family. We out. See you on the live stream.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.